Hi guys, Jason here. Welcome to my channel. I've decided to upload another video, and this is everything to do with how to manifest your best life. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an author and a life coach, and I've dedicated this entire channel to, well, basically how to manifest your best life. And I've actually decided to just create a video with, well, this topic in mind actually. How do you manifest your best life? Well, there is a very simple life hack for this. And this will require some practice, but it can be done. Yeah, without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. How to manifest your best life? Well, first of all, you have to be very clear on what it is, who you are. In that sense, you have certain gifts. Everybody here is here for a reason, have a certain purpose, and it's basically up to you to find that purpose. It's kind of like owning a product and not having like the manual on how to use it, which may seem a little bit unfair, but try and think of it like this. There is some fun to be had with figuring out how to use stuff and how everything works. Basically, you are left up to your own devices in order to do this. First things first, you have to be very clear on who you are, and you are someone who can manifest. That is what humans can do. Actually, birds can fly, fish can swim, and yeah, humans can manifest. That is how it works. That is your special power. Now, like every power you have, every power you might want to have, it requires some practice. It's not going to be something you can just do. First of all, it is important to realize that if you want to manifest anything, your best life, anything what you want, you have to feel it, you have to believe it, you have to own it. Because in fact, you already do. That's the reason why you want something. It's already part of you. You want something, it's becoming a part of you, part of your life. And it's working its way into your life. Now, it is very important that if you know that something is going to change your life, you have to align your school of thought with that, your train of thought. You have to feel its essence. You have to own it completely. Now, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you're going to have to declutter your mind, because you have probably been taught from a very early age, from a child on, that there is no such thing as fantasy. You have your eyes, which you can see, your ears, you can hear, your mouth, you can taste. You have all your senses, 5 senses that we're all familiar with, and that's all we have. That is your reality. That is how you define reality. It is a tangible sensation that you can actually feel on 5 different levels. However, there is another way of seeing reality, and that is by being aware of the fact that reality is what you make it. You are the projectionist, like in a movie theater, projecting your own film onto the screen. If you know how to work the reel that you use to project stuff, then you start becoming a co-creator, someone who can manifest their own reality. First of all, to declutter your mind and get rid of all of these bad thoughts, bad beliefs that have corrupted your system, so to speak. You have to meditate, and that is basically my biggest advice that I can give you. Wake up every morning or go to sleep before you go to sleep every night. Take a moment of self-reflection. Take a moment to actually meditate. Because if you see your mind as like a big pond and someone is constantly throwing stones in it, the pond becomes rippled and it becomes very unclear, murky. You can't see the bottom. So you have to make sure that everything is clear again. So how do you do that? Well, by meditating and just focusing on your breathing, you become one with your own thoughts. Now, what you will start to notice at the beginning, certainly, is that you will find it very tricky to meditate for longer than 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes at most. You're going to notice that your mind is so cluttered that it's going to keep on throwing thoughts at you, new thoughts for you to think about, new thoughts for you to act upon. And when you really start to analyze these thoughts, you're going to notice that they're not very relevant, because they are usually thoughts connected to, well, everything that's tied to the matrix. I have to pay my bills, I have to do something for my work, I have a certain planning I need to keep, I need to keep an appointment with a certain friend or person I have in my environment. These thoughts keep cropping up in your head, and it's going to be difficult for you to actually concentrate for longer than 5 minutes. What you need to do is to actually acknowledge these thoughts and then let them go. It's kind of like, well, the clouds we have in the sky right here. They come past, they float away. Everything passes. Acknowledge it and then let it go. The more often you do this is not something that's going to generate a direct result, by the way. So you're going to have to keep on doing this, and you're going to have to keep on doing this for a long time. But if you keep doing this for a long time, what you're going to notice is that your thoughts are going to become more clear. The pond is becoming wrinkle-free. Now, because you have very clear thoughts and you're no longer cluttered, this is when you can start really manifesting your best life. You start to feel what it is what you want to manifest rather than think about it, which is really the point where you want to be. Because as soon as you start to feel what it is what you want to manifest, this means you're starting to attract it into your life. You start to notice certain synchronicities. Maybe you run into people you haven't seen in a long time and they give you a very valuable piece of the puzzle. Or maybe you just start seeing double digits in a very high frequency all of a sudden. Maybe your dreams start to become, well, maybe a little bit weird, or maybe very important messages start coming through in your dreams. This is all part of it. Acknowledge this, because it's very important. This is going to help you generate your best life. When your thoughts become clear, you start to actually feel more at one with your environment, and it's almost as though the things that are not one with you, that you don't need anymore, they start disappearing, they start falling away from you all of a sudden because you don't need them. Now this may sound like a bit of a magic trick, but it's very important. This is real. This is what your power is. And the more you believe that, the easier it's going to become for you. So acknowledge who you are and acknowledge what you can do. Now, a problem that you're going to encounter, and certainly a lot of people go through this daily, your system is not just cluttered with all kinds of bad programming from your upbringing, but it's also cluttered with a lot of bad experiences that you've gone through. Maybe you had a very embarrassing job interview a couple of weeks ago, or maybe you were dumped really badly by a boyfriend, girlfriend, and it stays with you. And this has now programmed your mind to believe that you're not worthy, or maybe you are not, worth, going through those situations. You don't want to anymore, and you start robbing yourself of, well, all kinds of possibilities, really. And there is actually a way for you to declutter that as well, because once you go further along with meditating and your mind starts to become more free, it is then also possible, like a film reel, to project that manifestation of failure that you had that has now cluttered your system, to project it onto the screen, to replay that, but then envision a very different outcome. Maybe this time you went to this job interview and you had all the right answers. Maybe instead of being dumped by your then boyfriend, girlfriend, you actually had a very pleasant conversation with them and agreed on something, on why it is best to move on away from each other. This also opens up your mind, declutters it from any failures, bad programming that you've contracted throughout your life. By doing this more and more often, it is going to make a very profound influence on your life, because you start to feel more assured. You start to feel more like you can manifest anything you want, really. And that's really the place where you want to be. Because, again, if you want to manifest anything, really, it's not important that you just so much think about it, but it's more important that you can actually feel your manifestation. You can feel what it is that you want to manifest and start to believe in that feeling, like you already own it. The more you practice, the better you're going to become at it. The better you become at it, the more you start to manifest, and the more riches you have around you that you can share with other people. Maybe you can be an example for others, so that they maybe someday can learn how to manifest their own best lives. This is the power of manifestation. This is the power of believing in yourself, actually. I want you to promise me to keep trying, to keep believing, and to not be afraid of life's challenges. Meditate daily, every day. If you can only spare 4 minutes, then just give it 4 minutes. But I want you to promise me that you're going to try it for those 4 minutes. Declutter your mind. This is very important. I hope this video was useful for you. It was certainly an experience for me to make it. And well, I just hope everyone is going to be safe. Enjoy your day. Very important. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Don't be too harsh on your failures. And keep meditating every day.